really felt the energy of this group tonight. It's a special group of human beings here in this room. I could just feel it. So thank you so much for being here. One of my favorite things to do is to be able to stand up here and inspire and help shift energy and help open hearts. And I don't get to do it if you're not a part of it. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. So, who's excited to create a vision for 2023 that lights your heart on fire in the best of ways and actually manifests it this year? Hell yeah. Woo! And my intention for tonight is to help you to create a vision that excites you, that scares you, that's in alignment with your heart, your soul, your purpose, your mission, and something that you are going to feel connected to actually have the courage to show up and do it. Yes? So I am a woman on a mission to activate heart-centered leaders, to activate people to their power and their purpose. And I have a very dynamic group of clients, of people that find me. And so just know that if you're in this room, there's something that's meant for you that's really magical. I personally believe that most human beings, we underestimate our power, myself included. Would y'all agree? And I also believe that we are living in a time where we are being called to open and to activate that power in a new way. And if we start to think about really pulling all of our power back, plugging into possibility, the way that we're going to show up in the world and the way that we're going to make decisions is going to be different. Yes? And I'm going to start with a sentence, and I'm going to come back to this, but I just want you to start to think about how would you be playing the game if you weren't afraid you were going to fail? And I want us to be real with that, because if we want to create a vision and we want to manifest dreams, then we have to get over that cute little fear. And so if a lot of times we don't activate our own power because we're scared of our own power, and we're just as scared of success as we are of failure. And I'm saying we because I'm included in that. This morning, something really magical happened. I have the privilege and the honor of living in with one of the most beautiful views in the world. If we're connected on Instagram, then you've probably seen it's floor-to-ceiling windows. It looks like a European cove, and there's rocks and one of the most beautiful ocean vibes that you could ever see. And I was standing in front of my table by the window, and I was prepping for this conversation that we're having, and I looked up, and I was literally blown away. I'm not even exaggerating. There was 50 dolphins, they were jumping up, twisting and dancing, and my whole body got chills, and I was like, oh my gosh, I almost ran down and got a paddleboard and was like, if I thought I could catch them, I would have. I mean, they were going. And I see them often. Honestly, almost every day, if not every other day. But that's usually a few of them. They're doing there's a circle or they're going through. I've never seen 50. I've lived here for over 3 years. I've never seen 50 just They were going and jumping, and the energy, the frequency, they were out a little further than I normally could see, but because there were so many of them and they were going in tandem, so it was making its own wave, and then they would jump up. It was like a synchronized dance. I'd never seen anything like it. 2 days ago, I posted a reel on my Instagram story that I just saw, and I thought, that's so cool. It'd be so fun to see that. And I posted on my Instagram story, and it was the 50 dolphins. I'm not even joking. And I was like, I saw it on the screen. I was like, man, that would be so fun to be in that energy, to experience that. Shared it to my stories, and then this morning, I was like, wow. And I was doing it while I was prepping for this conversation. So I'm a big believer in signs and synchronicities. And if you've read my book, Quantum Vibes, that's one of the quantum tools that I believe is really powerful in manifesting dreams, is being aware of the signs and synchronicities. And so after I had that moment, about an hour later, I saw some more dolphins going. And then again, 30 minutes later, I saw some more. Now, it wasn't 50. It was more like the 3 to 8 that I'm used to seeing, and they were a little more close. And then I had a girl come over to glam me up for this evening, and we're sitting, I'm sitting where I can't even see the window, and I hear my neighbors go, "Y'all, look at the dolphins. Do you see the dolphins?" And I was like, "Do you want to see?" She's like, "Yep." We go over and we look. And then I see them again while she's there. So I was like, okay, I got it. And I Googled, what is the significance, the meaning of dolphins? What's the spiritual significance of a dolphin? And it means a lot of different things, but this isn't just for me, it's for you. And so when I read these words, I want you to, there's a few things I'm going to read, and I just want you to feel where your body says, that's for me. So the dolphin symbolism and meanings include help, guidance, messages, intelligence, fun, joyfulness, freedom, teamwork, transformation, and intuitive abilities. And I love the dolphin energy because how can you not? It's like, it's like they just make you want to smile, yes? And so what if we got to stop taking everything so seriously in life? There's a novel idea. What if things just got to be fun? How would your life feel differently? How would your vision feel differently? How would your career feel differently if you started to activate that joyful, playful energy in it? Would you be a little more magnetic? Yes. Would you feel a little more excited about life? No? No one's responding? Yes, there you go. Thank you. So, on that note, I'm actually going to share a story. I wasn't planning on sharing yet. But it's kind of that vibe. So, my sister has 4 beautiful children. I'm a privileged auntie to them. And the youngest has a firecracker spirit in the best of ways. And so I was with them in Georgia over the holidays. And Mamie, so this year she's 7, so last year she would have been 6. And have y'all ever heard of roller rabbit pajamas? Okay. I didn't really know what they were either until my oldest niece introduced me to them, but it's basically really soft, high-end pajamas. And my oldest niece had some. She had asked for some and gotten some, but she's 15 now. So I think she had gotten them last year. And so she had them, and Mamie, the youngest, last Christmas, she said, "I want some roller rabbit pajamas." And we were like, "Psh, you're 6. No." Like, no. And then life went on. So this year, she says again, "I want some roller rabbit pajamas." And we're like, "No, you're 7. And we begin to move on with our life. But Mamie has learned a few things. And she's learned how to really plug into possibility. And so in class, she's in 2nd grade, and their teacher had them write a persuasion letter to their parents about something that they desired in life. And so what do we think Mamie writes about? Roller rabbit pajamas, yes. So she writes this letter, and it's like, "Dear Mom and Dad, I really, really, really want some roller rabbit pajamas. They're so soft. My other pajamas are getting too small, and they don't really fit me that well anymore. Plus, if I had the roller rabbit pajamas, Then I could match with my big sister. And then she wrote, I'd really like them, thank you. P.S. Mom, you could get a pair too, and we could all be matching. So she writes that, and then she takes it upon her own accord to write the letter to the elves. Does anyone have elves, or you know about the elves on the shelves in the house? So there's Elfie and Sparkles. So she's like, Dear Elfie and Sparkles, really the main thing I want for Christmas this year is roller rabbit pajamas. I like the monkeys with the Santa hats, or I like the ones with the blue hearts, or really just any pair would make me happy. Thank you so much for doing that. So, do you think Mamie has our attention now? She's not just saying she wants them, she's really plugging into possibility. She's really pulling in her power. Well, what's really cool is I desire to get Mamie something she really wants, because I know she's going to appreciate it, and it's just not going to be something she unwraps and moves on. And so this is perfect for me. So I'm like, yes, I'm getting her the roller rabbit pajamas, but by the time I had learned about this desire, the strong desire of hers, it was pretty close to Christmas, and things were getting sold out. These pajamas are hot pajamas. So I'm looking online, and you can't find them anywhere in her size. I mean, I'm like calling stores, I'm Googling, I have my assistant leaving looking. We're striking out. We found a Bloomingdale's that had one return in her size, and I was like, we'll take it. It wasn't the design she wanted, but it was these hearts, and it looked like it had a little design on it. I was like, I'll take it. Then I realized that there's a roller rabbit at Lido. I didn't know that. So as soon as I realized that, it was a couple days after I had ordered the other ones, and I called, and I was like, do you have any pajamas in this size? And they were like, well, it just would happen. We just released a special edition, limited edition bunny with sparklers. And they sold out online, but we happen to have one more of that size in the store. I'm like, wonderful, can you hold it? I'll come and get it tomorrow. No, we can't hold it, but you can purchase it and get it tomorrow. I'm like, perfect, great. So we get, Christmas Day rolls around, and we're opening the presents. And Mamie has her little stack of presents, and the way that we usually do it is you open one at a time for like the first 3. And Mamie gets my present, she's shaking it, she's like, Nene, she calls me Nene, Nene, I've got yours next. I think it's Legos. I'm like, okay, great. So she opens the present, and I had double wrapped it. So she opens the first wrapping, and then she's like, oh, another one. And she opens that. She's like, it's not Legos. And she opens it. She goes, oh, roller rabbit pajamas. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She's like, they're heart candy kids. Oh my gosh. Mom, can I go put them on? Can I put them on right now? She runs and she puts them on, and she comes back to her chair. She's like, Nene, you want to take a picture? She's like really modeling it up. And then people start going to open their presents, and she goes, Nene, you got my best gift. You got the best gift. Nene, you got the best gift. Meanwhile, like, other people had bought her presents too. They're just sitting there. She doesn't even know she's got a second pair. And we're like, shh. So she walks over, and she whispers in my ear, Nene, you got my top gift. Good job. And I love every time I'm around Mamie, because she inspires me to remember what I desire. And she inspires me to plug into possibilities. And she reminds me of how much fun it can be. And so there's an energy between committed and curious. The first year, Mamie was curious. She was like, I'm going to throw it out there that I want some roller rabbit pajamas. The second year, she was committed, and a path opened up for her. And so I wanted to use that story as just a way to really just bring some joy frequency and really open up your mind and your subconscious mind to possibility. And know that just as I was there for Mamie to open up a path, there's someone here. There's someone down the street. There's someone on the plane you're going to get on. There's someone at the hairdresser. There's someone at the gas station. There's someone in the bank. There's always open paths if we're plugged in. So, there's a little game I like to play with creating a vision. And it really takes you into a field of possibilities. If you've read my book, Quantum Vibes, I believe that there's an infinite field of possibilities that we can plug into anytime, and not enough of us know how to do it, and not enough of us play there and dance there and live there. Yes? See? So, there's a vision, and then there's a vision beyond the vision. And where most of us stop is the vision, because we do what we feel is realistic. We do what we feel like is possible. We do what we feel like isn't going to upset anyone else. Anyone? And then there's the vision beyond the vision. If you think of anything great that has been created in this world, where do we think it began? In our mind, in our imagination. It was a thought, it was an inspiration, it was a feeling, it was a vision, a seeing, a knowing, a sensing. And then someone had the courage to follow through on their vision. Someone had the courage to plug into possibility and say, I'm going to create with energy, and the rest of you are going to get in line and we're going to do it. Because we try to create with physicality, we try to create in a predictable world, and we can do that. But it's not as much fun, and it's a lot more challenging, and it's a lot less expansive. And so when we can start to really think about possibility, and we can start to think about desires, and we can start to think about dreams. If we can remember that everything that was ever created started in someone's mind, in someone's imagination. It was a vision. Now, when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, I had bought a home at a very young age. I bought my first home at 24 years old. And it was kind of a fixer-upper. And I did some little things to fix it up. And then eventually I began to grow and expand, and I wanted a better home. But I loved the lot I was on. I loved the location. And so I decided to raise the ceilings. I had a vision. I was looking at all these other homes. I wanted high ceilings. I wanted a beautiful oasis in the back. I wanted a deck. I wanted an in-law suite and a garage. I didn't have a garage. And I wanted a few other things. And so I had a vision, an idea, an inspiration. And then I needed to call an architect, because I don't know exactly what to do to make that vision come to life. But I knew my part. I needed to call an architect. In fact, I needed to interview a couple of them, because some are better than others. And I needed to find the one that was right for me. And he did an amazing job. And so when we think about creating a vision, I want you to think about your unique soul as your architect. I believe that we all have a unique soul blueprint, and that what's best for you might not be best for you, might not be best for you, and so on and so forth. But your soul knows, and your soul knows, and your soul knows, and your soul knows. And that's pulling in that piece of power. Opening up our own intuitive power without needing everyone else to tell us. And so my hope and my intention with this evening's conversation is that we can begin to connect to our unique soul blueprint. And we can begin to let our unique soul blueprint guide us, because we've got to open up so we can receive the vision. Who in here would love to be shown a really expansive and exciting vision that's in full alignment with your heart and your soul? Okay, good. Domino effect. Me too. Because I can tell you right now, I've had a few of them. And when you let your soul show you, and you have the courage to go and to keep going, and you're willing to fail, there's magic on the other side of that. So I'm not going to go through my story too much, but I just want to give you a little bit of background, and I want to give you some evidence of possibilities. In 2013, I had a massive spiritual awakening. Has anyone in here had a spiritual awakening? Okay. I was in a space and place in life where nothing was really working out for me the way that I desired it to. I had all of these uncomfortable feelings that I had been pushing down because I was busy being busy, because I was busy with work achievements, because I was busy at nightclubs, and because I was doing anything and everything except for feeling what was up for me. And it got to this space and place where I didn't want to feel anymore. And so I did what everyone does, and I started to have a glass of wine at 5 o'clock to take the edge off. And honestly, in that time, it felt normal. It didn't feel weird. And to be clear, it was never an alcohol addiction for me. It was a numbing mechanism to not feel. And so what I would start to do is I'd wait till 5 o'clock and I'd have a glass of wine every single day to take the edge off. And if I needed another one, I would have another one. And if I needed another one after that, I would have another one after that. And it usually stopped 3 at the most. But it was just so I wouldn't have to feel. And there was one day where I was sitting at the sofa, staring at the clock, and it was 4:59. And I'll never forget this moment because it was one of the most pivotal turning points in my life. And now I understand that there was divine intervention in that moment because the clock froze. And it was literally 4:59, 4:59, 4:59, 4:59, 4:59. For 10 minutes, long enough for me to finally hear a piece of my heart and my soul that I had not been listening to, long enough for me to unlock something inside of me so I could begin to see the vision of my soul, long enough for me to listen to the voice inside of me saying, "Go, girl, go. There's so much more to life than what you're experiencing. What are you doing? Go, girl, go. There's so much more." Has anyone ever had that feeling where it's like, you know there's more than what you're experiencing? And for me in that moment, I fell to my knees and tears began to stream down my face. And it was a coming of home of sorts. And in the coming of home, it also felt very uncomfortable. And I looked up and I said a prayer and I prayed to be shown the way. And I knew that that was a moment that was going to change everything in my life. It was what I call, in my book, Quantum Vibes, it's what I call a quantum moment. And it's a moment where you have a line in the sand and you can never go back. It's like you can't unsee, you can't unfeel. And that's what happened for me in that day. And so instead of that day going and having a glass of wine so I didn't have to feel, I went and I started to look for books. And I started to search happiness. And I had had a few conversations in my past that inspired me to start to learn about frequency and open up my intuition and learn about self-love. And along this journey, I became hyper-committed. I mean, was I afraid to fail? Absolutely. But there was everything in my body knew that I wasn't going to go back to that feeling that I was feeling before. And I knew I was being called to step into something new, something unknown, something exciting. And for the first time, I was feeling lit up. I was feeling like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun. Did I have regret for things I had done? Yes. Did I have a lot of healing that I needed to do? Yes. And so I started going on events and retreats, and I started learning, and I started thinking about how I wanted to feel. And as I'm sitting in these rooms and these retreats, I started to think, I think I'm supposed to be hosting things like this. I didn't know how. There definitely wasn't time yet, but I had that feeling. And then I was continuing the journey, and I started to sit in theaters and hear speakers that inspired me, and I thought, I'm supposed to hold a microphone. I'm supposed to be on stage. And it was a knowing. It wasn't even a visual. It was a knowing. Have you ever had that? Some of you probably have that right now. So in 2014 was the year that I went on every retreat that my heart and soul called to. It was the year that I really learned how to love myself. It was the year that I said yes to me in a way that I had never said yes, and I didn't care. I didn't care what anyone else thought. I didn't care what the money was. I didn't care, and it served me in powerful ways. And then I wanted to know what my purpose was and what my mission was, and I started praying to be shown the way. And I was in meditation. I've meditated every day now for 8.5 years. I started meditating consistently in May 11th of 2014. And I believe it's one of the most powerful tools to connect to your unique soul blueprint. That's why I do it. Helps me to feel good. Helps me to feel clean and clear. So I was sitting in meditation, and it was never quiet because it was the beginning. And so my mind was always, and I was praying to be shown my purpose. And I just thought there would be the universe would come and be like, here you go, step 1, da-da-da-da-da. Step 2, here you go. Step 3, and you're all done. But it wasn't quite like that. Anyone else want that memo from the universe? Can you just give it to me and then I'll follow it? And so one day, I was on a jog in Atlanta, Georgia. It was about 70 degrees, and I was running on the pavement, and all of a sudden, boom, my feet literally just slammed the pavement like that. And this vision, talk about a vision. I had a vision. And it was like you were going to write a book, and you're going to write a book that parallels awakenings, the awakening that's happening, and it's going to be loosely based on your story. And when people read it, it's going to activate something in them, and they're going to see themselves inside of your story. And it's going to be mystical and magical, and it's going to be like Twilight and the Hunger Games, but it's going to be a book of awakening, and it will be on the big screen. And I saw this in a moment of it, like that. And it was so strong that there was no denying it. And when my logical mind kicked in, it was like, you have no literary background. You have no audience. You don't know about marketing a book. You certainly don't know how to write a fictional book. Did it matter? No, because I had unlocked the feeling that I had spent so long searching for, and I wasn't about to give it up because my logical mind was going to talk me out of it. This is where we go wrong. We let our logical mind, the voice of doubt, talk us out of it because it doesn't seem realistic. It doesn't make sense. Anyone? And I still, by the way, am in this process today of overriding my logical mind and reprogramming, rewiring, because it's something, as long as we're breathing, we're growing, we're doing it. And so I started to write a book. I didn't know how to write a book. I figured it out. I began to mentor under people that had books, and I learned. And I fumbled. And then I would get back up. And writing that book was one of the best things I ever did because people started finding me. So Girl Awakened is the second version of that book. The first book was called Musings of an Earth Angel, and people started finding me through that book. And through that book, I activated a vision beyond the vision. So the vision was write the book and then begin to get it out. The vision beyond the vision was a couple of things. It was help this book to propel you into your next level of what you're meant to be doing, help people to find you. And then the vision beyond that vision was book to movie. And so I didn't know how. I wasn't worried about the how, but what I was doing is I was following my unique soul blueprint. And what I was doing was I was plugging into possibility, and I was surrounding myself with people that were giving me evidence of that what I wanted to do was possible. And I was surrounding myself with people that were cheering me on and not saying, you idiot, you don't even know how to write a book. Because there were those people. And I'll never forget the moment when I was first like, wow, this manifestation really works, was in 2000, it was early 2000, I must have been 16. So I published my first book in 2015. It was early 2016, and I got a phone call from Hay House, the publishing company that does a lot of personal development, a lot of new age authors. And it was interesting because I had studied quite a few of them. I had read their books, I had studied their workshops, I had attended some of their retreats. And then I got a phone call from them inviting me to be on the speakers panel next to Deepak Chopra and Gabby Bernstein and 25 other New York Times bestselling authors and me. And I was like, wow, this manifestation stuff really does work. The quantum field exists. This is real. It's working. It's happening. Here we are. And it put me in motion to keep going, and it plugged me into momentum to keep going, and it gave me the courage to keep showing up even when it wasn't looking like it, even when it didn't feel like enough, even when everyone was telling me, what are you doing? And I learned the power of the frequency of momentum in the right direction. Because what happens with momentum is most of us plug into it the wrong way. We hear someone say, why are you doing that? It makes no sense. Boom. We let go of our energy, we give it backwards. We hear someone, this is the most one that I see in my own life and in other people. You have a desire, you want to do it, and you dip your toe in. Kind of like Mamie dipped her toe in, just saying she wanted to roll a rabbit and keep it walking on. You dip your toe in just a little bit, but you don't give it your all energy, and you try for 30 minutes, 2 weeks, 3 months, 1 year, and you're not seeing it yet. And so you go, oh, well, I'm just going to bail on the whole thing. Has anyone ever done that? Right. And when you do that, you're plugged into momentum backward. You're plugged into momentum in the wrong direction, and that's not where the magic is. The magic is in holding the frequency no matter what. The magic is choosing to go all in, to plug all in, to know that if you have a vision, you have a desire in your heart, it is meant to be yours. To look at, where do I need to pivot? What's not working? What is my own intuition showing me? And am I doing that, or am I sitting still in stagnancy? Because if we want momentum and we want forward movement, we've got to move. And so what's interesting is my life began to unfold in a way I never could have predicted. I had a vision in it was around 2015, so I hosted my first retreat in Sedona, Arizona in 2015. I was scared out of my mind, and I did it with a business partner. And I'll never forget the first day after people had left. We had 11 people there, including the two of us. And after people left, we were like, we can do it! We did it! And the amount of power and the amount of transformation and the amount of the healing that took place was beyond powerful, because we were willing to bet on ourselves and plug into a vision that we'd been shown. So then I began to feel the calling more to speak. And in 2016, around there, I'm getting my years a little mixed up, but it was around 15, 16, I started to go to learn how to speak. I started to find people that inspired me and see if I could take a golden nugget here, left, right, and center. And what I realized along that process was I had so much more wisdom inside of me that needed to be unlocked. Because what the people were saying, there were some good pieces, but I was like, that's how I'd never do it that way. This is how I would do it. And the way that I would do it is way more powerful. And the way that I would do it was magnetic for me, because it was in alignment with my unique soul blueprint. So the vision was I wanted to speak on stages, and the first stage I spoke on, I remember being a nervous wreck, kicking over a water bottle in the beginning. And then within 15 minutes, I dropped in. And I saw hearts begin to open, and I saw light bulbs begin to come on. And I said, never again will I not do this. And so the vision in the beginning was I wanted to speak, I wanted to open hearts, I wanted to activate souls, I wanted to show people what had brought me back to life. And then the vision beyond the vision was speaking on the TEDx stage in 2019, which was a big dream. And by the way, for that dream, do you know how many no's I got? Does anyone want to guess how many no's I got before I got a yes? Throw a number out. 300. Any other guesses? 15. Well, you knew that. Cheater. It was around 200 no's. For like a year and a half or 2 years, my team and I were applying to TED Talks. But you know what? I was applying with the message that wasn't in most alignment with my heart and my soul. Most people would have given up after 5, 10, 20. And what I did was I kept going. Now, the definition of insanity is you do the same thing over and over again and you always expect a different result. So what did we do? We pivoted. I said, okay, this isn't working. Let me really sit in this. And I would have different mentors and I'd say, what's some magic that you see in me? And we'd pull out a different idea. And eventually the idea of quantum physics came through. And when that one came through, not only did I get one yes, but I had 15 yeses like that. And it shows the magnetism of plugging into your unique soul blueprint. And the reason I was supposed to do that is because the mainstream world needs to have the conversation about understanding frequency and energy in your body. It needs to be a mainstream conversation, not thinking it's some woo-woo thing that people can't talk about, because it's real. And how we're all being called to our power. This is what's happening. And so my TED Talk has now reached over 2.8 million people. Thank you. Could I have done that on my own? Was God, Source, the divine, opening up doors for me? There's probably someone right now watching that talk. It's still going, and it will still go. Because of that talk, it's opened new doors for me. So what else is really interesting with my unique soul blueprint is my history of corporate background, of sales, of working with top-level CEOs, executives. And so I track those people into my world because I have a piece of magic. Hopefully you're okay if I share this, Rob, but there's one of my clients in the room, and he said, I thought I hired you for mindset and energetics. I didn't know we were going to be talking so much business development. It's my gift. I can see it. I can see how to unfold it. And so my unique soul blueprint, I'm able to host a retreat in Sedona where we go to energetic vortexes and we plug into the magic. I'm able to have rooms like this where we can do more intimate exploration. I have multiple corporate clients where I'm doing book signings with them. I'm working with CEOs that have billions of dollars of assets in their company because they understand the name of the game of plugging into a vision and continuing the conversation. Do you think anyone would have told me that that would be my path? No. Do you think I would have been able to see that that was my path? No. But it was an uncovering and unlayering of allowing myself to be shown one next step and then taking the step. It was allowing myself to fail over and over and over again. It was allowing myself not to let my ego take me out of the game because it still comes in and it still wants to take me out. But I'm not willing to plug into that. Walt Disney, how many banks did he go to before he got the loan? Does anyone know this? 300. He got 300 no's before he got a yes. Gone with the Wind. How many no's did Gone with the Wind get from publishers before someone agreed to publish that book? 38. So not in the extremes of the hundreds. J.K. Rowling was told no over and over and over and over and over again. And now she has one of the most powerful and most popular series with her Harry Potter series and billions of dollars to go with it. What did each of those people have in common? They dissected their own magic. And they didn't listen when other people told them it wasn't possible. Now, I don't pretend to be perfect. And I have so many dreams. I honestly am just getting started. But can you feel the power when you start to say yes? And can you feel the possibilities open up when you begin to plug in? Yes? So, let me just look at what else I want to make sure that I'm hitting. I want to share something with y'all. Excuse me. There's a question that changed my life, and if you know it, because you've heard me say it. I don't want you to answer. But if you had to guess what question changed my life, I would love to hear guesses. Does anyone have one? Y'all are so quiet tonight. No one has a guess?
What is your why?
What is your why? That's a good one. That wasn't it though, but I love that question. Anyone else?
What do you want?
What do you want? What do you desire? That's also a good one. We're moving closer.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Also moving closer. I want to actually dissect on that because that's such a grounded question that we would ask ourselves. And so actually I'll just catapult from that. It's not where do you see yourself, but where does your soul? What does your soul want to show you for where you are in the next 10 years? Do you feel just the frequency difference in those questions? So for me, the question that honestly changed my life was, what would you be doing if you had zero limitations? If you had zero limits, what would you be doing? And at first, it was a mentor that asked me this question, and I was like, that's a ridiculous question. So again, this was just barely new awakened Suzanne. I was like, well, that's a ridiculous question. Of course I have limitations. And then something transitioned in my body. And I felt this feeling of, wait a second. I don't have any limitations except for the ones I put on myself. And that began to change everything because I began to dream differently. I began to create visions differently. It opened up a new level of consciousness because I began to think, what would I be doing if I had zero limitations? And we're going to play with that question in the meditation that we're going to do, and I'm going to let your soul guide you and show you. And I'm going to add another question that I added on to that. And I want to make sure that I wrote it down. Here's a powerful game changer. And I'm not saying you're always going to do this, because the way that I live is I dance between this third dimensional world that we live in and an infinite field of possibilities. And when I can play in the field of possibilities, I do. But sometimes, the mortgage has to get paid, or the groceries have to get done, or the rent has to get paid, or the kids need what the kids need. So it's like we have to be able to be grounded, both feet on the ground, two hands up, heart open to the sky. And so with this second question, this will change. This is a beautiful way to unlock your unique soul blueprint. If money was no object, what decision would I make here? It will change the name of the game for you, because we talk ourselves out of things over and over because of money. I actually just did this, and then I corrected myself with one of my friends who happens to be here. And I got invited on a trip, and it felt like a lot for a short amount of time, and I said no for a second, and then I said, what am I doing? Yes, I'm going. And then it was too late. So I'm going to miss out. Maybe not. I know there's some workarounds happening. But I got in my own way with that. This was like a week ago. I got in my own way because I started thinking of all the other things I could be doing in that amount of time with that much money. And then I literally had to check myself and say, this is against everything I believe in and everything I teach. So I'm going to open up expansion, and I'm going to say yes. Because I desired to go. It would be different if I didn't desire to go, or it would be different if I felt obligated, but that wasn't the truth. So there will be times where you want to do things, and you talk yourself out of it for that reason. And will there be times when there's a real truth, like it might not be the right timing? Maybe. I'm not saying that there's not, and I'm not saying be irresponsible. What I'm saying is put your soul and your heart and your wisdom in the driver's seat with those kind of decisions. And go from that space and place. And if we all did that, we would live in a very different and a very unique world, because we would be putting our resources toward things that filled us up. And your energy tracks your money, naturally. So wherever you're spending money, your energy is going. So just keep that in mind. If you want to put your energy toward momentum, where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your money? That's where your energy goes. And just start to think about that. And so when we want to create a vision, a lot of times we trip ourselves up because we think it could never happen, or that's not possible, or where's the money for that, or how am I? That's what I was trying to say. So the answer is you don't start with that. The answer is you start with a desire. Mamie had a desire. And it might have been some silly pajamas, but she knows that she understands the energetics of manifesting brilliantly. I have several other stories I could share about her where I've watched her. She plugs into possibility. She has a way of knowing how to get what she wants. And she doesn't care. She doesn't give a flying, you know what anyone else thinks. She goes for it. One time we were at, my family goes to Amelia Island every year, and we were at the beach, and I think she was like 3 at this time, and she loved a cell phone. She wanted to grab a cell phone any chance that she could. And we didn't want her to have it because she'd jack up your cell phone from hitting all the buttons. She was young enough to destroy it, but not old enough to know what to do with it. So it was like a game. You had to keep it away from her. And we were at the beach one summer, and I was standing in my bedroom. There was a bed here, and my phone was across the bed plugged in. And Mamie is smart. She was 3, and I was looking in the mirror, and I was putting on some mascara, and I had just grabbed my lipstick to put on my lips. She's 3. I literally see her. She's like this. You know, like how they kind of tiptoe. Like she's literally like in the movies, like that tiptoeing. I go, out of the corner of my eye, I see her. I'm like, Mamie? She goes, Urgh! She grabbed the phone and she goes, Nene, go fix your lips. But she waited till I was distracted, and she went, and then when I called her, she didn't care, and she went after it. Again, I'm using these examples because we can learn from this. I'm not saying that's the right way to do it or go after things that you shouldn't. They're not yours necessarily. But when you can start to really think about, where have you said no? Because you put limitations on yourself that didn't have to be there. Where have you said yes? Because you plugged into possibility. Can I use you as an example again? Alex, right? So this beautiful woman in the front row, you're 19, just turned 19, and has her pilot's license. Like, how amazing is that? And she has a beautiful mother that has encouraged her every step of the way and is bringing her in conversations like this. What a gift. At 19, what I would have to have the knowledge that you have, that's what's going to change our world. So congratulations, Mama, and congratulations, Alex. That is so beautiful. 19 years old, a female pilot. Like, how many people would have said no to that? Don't do that. What are you doing? And how many people would have said go, soar? And just think, when you turn 30, who knows? You're going to be taking over the world at 30. And for the people here that wished at 19 that we would have had this knowledge, is there anything we can do about it? No. Except for honor our past and trust and know that everything is perfect and that everything that happens for a reason. When I transitioned my career, I didn't understand the way that my sales background and the way that everything I learned, I was in the top 2 to 5% of the company always, or 1 to 5% of the company was sales. I had no idea how that would parlay into the conversations that I'm having with my corporate clients, with leadership, with building sales teams, with understanding company culture the way I can, because I have that grounded background and it fits so perfectly to my unique blueprint. When I have clients that are real estate agents or coaches or healers or people that want to speak on stage or that want to write a book, I'm able to speak in a whole different way because I have all of these different lanes that fit me. And so I'm able to attract such a dynamic, a group of humans, and I'm able to take a piece of wisdom from here and a piece of wisdom from here and put it all together. That wouldn't have worked if I hadn't have had that experience that I had. And so it's like no matter where we are, it's all on purpose, and there's a piece of the puzzle that you can't see. And it will be unfolded to you as you begin to let something bigger than you, as you begin to plug into possibility, as you begin to unlock your unique soul blueprint and let yourself be shown. Yes? So, do y'all want to do a powerful sound bath meditation and experience to bring our visions to life? Yes? Has anyone never done a sound bath? Oh, good. Okay. No. Here's all you need to know. You can't do it wrong and keep your eyes closed. There's always someone that keeps their eyes open, and then I'm like, eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed to have your own experience. The bowls that I have, there's so many people that do great sound baths, so I want to make that clear. I go to them, I love them. The way I play the bowls is it's truly an activation. It's the energy that I'm moving through, the energy of the bowls, and it will unlock something in you if you let it. So all you have to do is breathe, open your heart, close your eyes. I'll guide you through a visualization where I'll be talking. We'll do the bowls for a little while, and then I'm going to put on the song, and we'll do a meditation, and then I'll guide you through that. All right, and with that, we will get started. So just start to get comfortable. Taking a big, deep breath in. Closing your eyes. And just feeling the difference in your body, the way you feel right now versus when you felt before you walked in the door. And noticing an opening in your heart. Notice a beautiful divine power starting to align with your body. And once again, I'm going to invite you to let go of everything you think you need, to let go of everything that you think you know, and surrender to your highest, most beautiful, wisest self. Fully arriving in your body, fully receiving your own power. Allowing your soul to guide you. Allowing yourself to truly feel the frequency And you're plugging into that love frequency energy that's just streaming in like a beautiful, infinite golden waterfall from the heavens, coming into your entire being. And feeling yourself integrated with your soul in a new way that maybe you've never experienced before. And now in your mind's eye, I want you to let your soul take you on a journey. And we're going to trust and surrender and open up to be shown our own unique soul blueprint. To let ourselves be shown a vision and a vision beyond the vision. And know that we're going to see exactly what we need to see. We're going to feel exactly what we need to feel. And know that everything's perfect. And so seeing yourself someplace beautiful, someplace majestic maybe, someplace where you feel unlimited possibilities. Really noticing where your energy and your power may have been before, and without judgment, fully just releasing it and pulling all your power back into your body. And then just notice as this beautiful, beautiful piece of you begins to emerge, the piece of you that has the worthiness of a newborn baby just out of the womb, the piece of you that has the wisdom of thousands of years, the piece of you that knows your unique soul blueprint, piece of you that always is available. And just begin to get to know this piece of you, get to see this piece of you. And maybe you see yourself in the beautiful space that you're in, and you see this version of you right in front of you. Asking your heart, asking your soul, asking the wisdom that lives inside of you, asking the truth of who you are. What would I be doing if I had zero limitations? If I had zero limitations and money was no object and no one would get mad at me, what would I be doing? zero limitations. I can do anything, be anything, say anything, have anything, experience anything. What would I be doing? Handing over full power to the divinity that lives within you, to this beautiful, beautiful piece of your heart and soul that's being shown to you, handing the keys of the ignition to the car of your life, to your wisdom, to your unique experience, to everything that makes you special, to everything that makes you ready. Opening up to be filled with courage, opening up to be filled with a willingness to walk in the uncomfortability if you need to get to where you need to go. And from that space and from that commitment level, asking your soul to show you what you could create in this next 12 months. Zero limitations. You can do anything you desire. What does this next year look like for you when you're plugged into your power? When you're walking with an open heart? When you have a willingness to fail? When you're saying yes to what your soul is guiding you to? That's the magic. Let yourself be shown. Keeping your eyes closed. Bringing in awareness around the frequency that you've cultivated and how you feel in your body. And I want to bring this piece of you into this time-space reality just by visualizing this beautiful golden light, this beautiful wise piece of you, and see it merging with the version of you today. Bringing that frequency down into your body and dropping it right into your heart and feeling it really grounded. And then just notice as this frequency moves through every cell in your body, in your bloodstream, down your arms, down your torso, down your legs, down to your feet, and then just notice these beautiful roots shooting from your tailbone and your feet, going deep, 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 deep down through the rocks and the roots, down, 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 into this beautiful green light in the center of the earth. And then just notice a golden hook that has your name on it. Plugging into that beautiful, beautiful golden hook. And then notice this beautiful green energy from the earth streaming back up these roots, coming back up into your body, this healing, grounded energy that's going to hold this frequency for you. Feeling that healing energy moving up your legs, up your torso, and landing in your heart. And just feeling the connection from above and below. Feeling your energy in your body. We're going to take 3 more big deep breaths just to anchor this all in. Taking 1 big breath, breathing in. Let it go. Second breath, I want to feel your belly expand. Breathing in. Through your mouth. Your biggest breath yet. Breathing in. Let it go. And now slowly coming back to this moment. There's no rush. You might want to rub your hands together. You might want to do like a good morning stretch. You might want a sip of water. You might want to yawn. How are y'all feeling? You feel what? Relaxed? Good. So, do you feel like you could take your power back a little more? Do you feel like you've been shown a little more power that you didn't realize you had? I started this conversation off by saying we underestimate how powerful we are. We all do it, me included. And the magic is when we can begin to dance with that piece of us that is the power. And we've got to start unplugging from everything that tells us that's not what we are and plugging in to the places and spaces that remind us of our power and our truth. And that's going to look different for everybody. But your heart and soul is going to guide you always when you let it. And the other thing I started the conversation was saying, what would you be doing if you weren't afraid to fail? How would you be playing the game if you weren't afraid to fail? Because it'll change everything. And we have these dreams and we let them sit idle in our hearts because we don't believe we're worthy of them, or we don't know how, or someone else told us that we couldn't, or it didn't happen fast enough, or. You have the power to change that. It starts with you plugging into possibilities, activating your unique soul blueprint, not letting other people. Did Walt Disney let other people talk him out of his dream? No. Honestly, the only difference between people that have done something great and people that haven't is they kept going. The people that have done something great, they kept going. They figured out a way to pivot. They figured out a way to fall in line with their intuition. They figured out what their magic, their gifts were, and they kept going. I have the belief that life is meant to be really rich and meaningful and exciting and expansive. And I didn't always have that belief. And even when I think back to my days before my awakening, I still lived a really great life. It was just very surface level. And I was missing the depth and the richness of true connections. and the joy of doing something that lights my heart and my soul on fire in the best of ways, and having a life that takes my breath away every single day. I don't take 1 ounce of it for granted. And there's evidence everywhere showing us what's possible. We live in a time where we carry around these little boxes. This is my office. Welcome to my office. Come right in. And it's pretty awesome. There's unlimited possibility. We can connect with people in a way that we couldn't before. I truly believe one of the biggest pieces of my mission is to activate people into purpose and power, because we are evolving and changing and shifting in ways that we never have before. And if you're in my world, you're being called to step up, and I want you to know that. And it can be fun. You know, when we start to feel anxiety in our body, I wrote an Instagram post about this a couple days ago, or maybe last week. When we start to up-level, more love, more money, more visibility, more leadership, more abundance, more excitement, sometimes our subconscious mind comes in and says, whoa, who do you think you are? And it translates as our body feels off kilter. We feel anxiety. And what do? We turn around and we plug into the backward momentum, because that feels safe and that feels known. And that's not where the magic is. The magic is in you put your eye on the bullseye and you plug in, and you plug into that no matter what energy, that all-in energy, and you move. And if things aren't happening the way they need to, you figure out what you need to do to pivot and move. And you keep going. The only difference between people that have accomplished what you desire to accomplish and you is they kept going. They believed in themselves. They figured out who they needed to surround themselves with to get there, and they did it. That's it. So you came here tonight to create a vision for 2023. You came here to create a vision for the next 12 months. And while this is a beautiful and powerful time to do that, we can do it at any time. In fact, too many people waste time because they're waiting on the next new year. And what happens a lot of times is, how many of you have said you want to do something in January and you lose steam by March? Hello? We live in a world with instant gratification. We want it now. We want it yesterday. We want it, we want it, we want it, we want it, we want it. And that's amazing. And I do believe things can happen and we can quantum leap. And I believe sometimes there are things that have to lock in, and we can't see the path. But there is a path, and there are doors open every single step of the way. When you move in motion with your soul, when you tap into that wisdom, when you unlock that piece of you. So I'm guessing many of you were shown something exciting in your meditation. Yes? And if you weren't, don't worry. Because remember when I was sitting there and I was like waiting for the PSA? And it came when I wasn't expecting it. It came when I was in a moment of surrender, where I was just jogging, moving my body and listening to music, and then boom. So some of you are going to have those other moments, and the clarity doesn't just stop here. This is just the beginning. And so this is a conversation, and one that I invite you to be a part of more and more and more and more, depending on what your goals and dreams are. And where I see so many people go wrong when it comes to dreams, or when it comes to this conversation, or if you've read my book, Quantum Vibes, it's a book about the energetics of how to manifest your dreams, how to reprogram, rewire your mind. And people, where we go wrong is we read one book and we think that's it. We come in one workshop and we think that's it. I honestly binge on personal development videos the way most people binge Netflix. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to be like that, because that's me. That's my guidance. But I'm guessing that there's other more productive things you could possibly be doing And sometimes, I love Emily in Paris. I just started watching that. It's season 3. That feels good to me to watch, so I'll watch it. There are things that feel in alignment. It's not like you can't live in the world that we live in. But this is what my dad used to always say to me, Suzanne, the difference between good and great is that much. And he's right. The difference between good and great is that much. You keep going, you go all in, you follow the path that your soul is showing, and you take it. Because what most people do is they just dip their little toe in. They just ask for the roller rabbit pajamas one time and then they give up. And they're not getting creative. They're not writing letters to the elves. You get the analogy. We've got to plug in, and I'm talking to myself too, because I'm at a level where I'm about to go up, and I'm about to do investments that feel scary, and I'm about to do all the things. And each next level, it all starts to bubble back up to the surface. And that's why it's really important to feel into what your unique soul blueprint is guiding you on, because that's where we go wrong, where we think we have to do it because this person said, or we have to do it because they did it and they had success. I don't coach like that. I coach by putting you in your power. What is your soul telling you? And let me help guide you in that direction, because that's where the magic is. So I want to just invite you to get excited about life. Who's feeling activated and inspired right now? Good, thank you. Just out of curiosity, how many of you do want to stand on stages and speak with a microphone? Okay, hint, if you want to be seen, you've really got to be seen. If you want to hold a microphone, you got to let me see you. You know, talking to people that want to stand on stages and then they don't want to be seen. So you're an energetic mismatch, because you want to be on the stage, but you're not willing to say it. That makes you an energetic mismatch. How many of you want to write a book? How many of you would love to hold a book in your hand? Okay. Does it feel good to just let other people see you and witness you in that dream? Yes? Because it starts with you. It starts with your power. And that's it. Now, I'm going to take some questions. And before I do, I want to say that I'm taking these sound bowls with me to Sedona in 3 weeks. And we have a few tickets left. It's a 4-day immersion. Like I said, I hosted my first retreat in 2015. I hosted them with a business partner in this beautiful resort in the Red Rocks of Sedona, Arizona for 6 years. And we took a break. And now I'm doing it on my own. And I'm so excited. And we have the most beautiful, elevated group of humans going. We have a few tickets left, so if you're feeling activated, and if you're like, I would love to see what would transpire if I immersed myself in this frequency and this conversation and connecting with humans at this level, and you want to come pull a chair up to the table, there's an open invitation. So the information for that is, if you're following me on Instagram, it's there. It's also on my website. I think we have a handful of tickets left. I know we had 4 people book in today, so we're getting close. So if you're interested, let me know. The other thing, for those of you that raised your hand with wanting to hold a microphone on this stage, I'm hosting a program, a digital program called Speak Your Soul. I ran it this summer live, and I'm running it again. If you ran it this summer, you get to come in this round again too. So I'm not going to put all the details, but I'm going to give you this email address, and I want you to write this down if you're interested. It's hello at Suzanne Adams Inc., SuzanneAdamsInc.com. So the email address is hello at SuzanneAdamsInc.com. My team will get that. If you want the details about the program, you're feeling activated and you want to jump in with us and get in the live energy, let me know. The last round, I had a client that came in and she said yes, she shifted her energy. She went from the curiosity to committed, and she booked a TED Talk. So I had a lot of clients start hosting workshops and retreats. If that's the kind of thing you're interested in, this is a great program for that. If you like my coaching style, if you like it, it's important. Some of you might just want to come sit in this room with me here, and you're welcome always, and I love that, and I thank you for your presence and your energy. The other thing I have coming up is a program called Write Your Book, Change the World. That sounds exciting, huh? So for those of you that raised your hand, you want to write a book. I've self-published, I've published with a publisher. I've attracted a lot of amazing opportunities through books. If that's what you desire to do, again, you can just email hello@SuzanneAdamsInc.com for the details. And I'm going to do something special for those of you that reach out in the next 24 hours if you're interested in that, okay? And then Sedona, you know if you're interested in that, so come talk to me after. You can email my team. The site's on my Instagram. Regardless, I invite you to plug into the energy of what you've been shown tonight. You've unlocked something, you've activated something, and you're ready for more. And so it's really up to you. This is such a pleasure, such an honor. Thank you so much for letting me stand up here, and thank you for your presence, and thank you for being here, and thank you for your energy. And again, if you have any questions, be sure to email my team, or you can message on Instagram. It'll be either me and my team that answers that as well. And I hope that you'll come back and join me next time we do this. And if you want to come to Sedona, come say hi. We have Quantum Vibes books and Girl Awakened books. I'm happy to sign them. If you want either one of them, they're $20 each, and Stephanie will have them back here for you. And I'm going to run to the bathroom, and I'm happy to give a hug, take a picture to anyone who wants to do that. And feel free to connect amongst yourself, because this is an amazing group of humans in here. So thank you so much. Thank you.